they say the human form is the hardest thing to draw, other than,
Okay.
like as opposed to like animals or you could mess up on like an eye or like a shoulder or something or an arm, but like the human form, if something is off, like it's noticeable.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we got another great guest, and I'm here with.
Briar Rosa,
All right, Briar Rosa. How's your day been, man?
it's been great. I've been
Yeah.
looking forward to this event,
Yeah.
and I'm excited to be here.
How long were you waiting for the event?
Since Ramiro told us about it, and then I was able to think of a piece to make for it, and think of the space, and make the piece, and then put it together, and then here we are, and I'm happy to be here
Gotcha.
and see people's reactions to it. It's always good.
So, man, you got me thinking so many things. So, before you create a piece, do you think about where it's gonna be put, and then you create the piece, or is that just for this event?
That sometimes that plays a factor due to like the scale or the size of the piece I want to make. Usually the concept will already be in my mind. If I haven't made something and to me I had this piece in mind, which was people refer to as a backwoods piece. I thought of it about a year ago, and I didn't make it at the time. But then when he told me about this exhibition, I thought, oh, this is the perfect time to make it and put it together. And yeah,
Okay.
I think things come about organically, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. What was the inspiration?
A lot that piece came from, and it was an extension of other work that I made in grad school. I graduated at Cal State San Bernardino recently, as of 2020. In the grad program, I got my master's degree, and I was making work that referenced nostalgia and a lot of like physical pieces, figurative art, and this is kind of an extension of that stuff that I made back then.
Gotcha. For people who may not know what figurative art is, can you kind of explain what that would be?
Yeah, figurative art is basically portraiture, anything that has the human form. A lot of art, if you think about like Picasso, he's also kind of a figurative artist where he deconstructs the figure, or maybe like Salvador Dali, or in contrast to those artists, I would think of like I can't think like an abstract expressionist that's like paint drips. That would be abstract expressionist is more mark making, like letting the body movement splatter paint or so, like it becomes more performative.
Okay.
But figurative art is like you have human form pretty much.
Cool. Cool. And how would you describe your type of art?
A lot of my recent work is about my memories. I grew up in the 90s era. So I played a lot of like video games. I watched a lot of cartoons, Nickelodeon. I was influenced by a lot of the music, like MTV. There's a lot of like imagery in that era. Everything was extreme, like Mountain Dew. Like everything had this colorful imagery, and that influenced me back then. And I would draw based off Marvel Comics, and I was a big fan of like X-Men, the animated series.
Mm-hmm. Favorite
And so-
X-Men character?
Oh, Gambit.
What? Right here. Right here.
He's.
Yeah.
I wanted to. You want to be him.
Mon ami.
One of me. Yeah, and his Rogue, his girlfriend, his girl.
I know.
And,
The girl he wanted.
the girl he
Did he
wanted.
ever get her? Did he ever really get her, though?
I don't know, but you have that like that journey. I don't know that ambition.
That part.
And he's just cool.
Yeah.
But I started drawing off these comics. You try to draw. Me and my friends in grade school would draw like the musculature of the characters and try to outdo each other. It was very competitive. And at lunchtime, we trade comics.
Cool.
And I collected lowrider magazines, and so something about the human form, the figurative figure, was always with me, and we would always try to perfect it.
Is the Michelangelo David piece, is that overrated, or do you understand why it's so praised?
Oh no, it's beautiful. It's not overrated at all. It's he made that when he was young, like 23 or something. Like it is an exceptional piece of art. Like it's something to be valued and sought after, and to, to be seen, essentially. Like, again, like I talked about the space here, I thought about how the space would occupy a piece of artwork, so that it's in a, museum, this iconic space, and it's something about you need to make a pilgrimage to this era, this country, this space, and to feel it. And there's something about it's different than looking at it on a screen, or a JPEG, or like an image, or a magazine,
Yeah.
David. And but if you go there and you see it, like you'll be moved, and you'll have like a moment with it.
Interesting. You mentioned like the human form, right? And one of my friends, he's doing a lot of digital art, and I guess I got two questions for you, or two things. He was saying he hated the way AI made fingers, and I've also heard this. How difficult is it to do ligaments like hands and feet?
Well, for me, I kind of like you learn that when you're like in the beginning drawing class, or like
Okay.
this is the hardest thing you're gonna draw, is the human is they say the human form is the hardest thing to draw, other than,
Okay.
like, as opposed to like animals, or you could mess up on like an eye, or like a shoulder or something, or an arm, but like the human form, if something is off, like it's noticeable.
Got you.
But the hands, like I think when I was young, and that was the first thing I'm like, this is the most difficult thing. Like, I want to attack it and try it out. And so continually working with hand, like that's actually the favorite thing for me to make, is like a hand, or I don't know, like to develop a hand.
Okay.
For me, I think
Okay.
a really difficult thing is actually teeth.
Wow.
His teeth
Okay.
to make. There's always like tricks to use though.
Like teeth in general, or like a smile?
I think like just drawing teeth, like the gum line, like shadows and lips and stuff, to make it look realistic. Like that's actually more difficult than like a hand, to me personally.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
Now we're getting into like even like there's layers to it,
layer-
basically. There's layers to it.
There's
The
like
hand was difficult, but now if you really want to make a mouth and teeth look
or like realistic, or you have like I think it's like the gum line. I kind of figured. I feel like when you draw it for so many times, or it's like, to me, the secret's like the gum line. If you could get that right, then you get the teeth right. So.
got you. So you've been involved in art for what would you say you fell in love with art? What age would you say?
I was a youth, and geez, like maybe 5 or 6, and I've been very fortunate because I had parents that supported me, and my dad would take me to the museums, and I remember specifically going to the Norton Simon Museum and seeing all the beautiful work, the paintings there, the figurative work, and I wanted to do that, and I wanted to, be an artist, and he would bring home comic books to me, and so I think it all started with my parents, and I'm very fortunate that happened.
Yeah, supportive parents really do matter. It helps a lot in a child's development into a confident individual, right?
Oh yeah.
I was speaking with Richie earlier, and we were talking about, people expect their work to be bought immediately. But the reason why I mentioned that is because I wanted to ask you, do you think, and this is the term, do you think art is dead? And when I say that, I mean, do you think people know how to appreciate art?
I think art's not dead. It's interesting because I feel different areas in the world, art is more respected.
100%. Like
California,
Europe.
yeah. So that's like California, or the United States. Unfortunately, like art's being devalued or underfunded through school programs. So I feel like as an artist, it's my job to continue to make work. I mentioned to you earlier, I teach, and to share my knowledge and share my techniques with people to motivate. I feel like everybody has a distinct voice, and Mark making a distinct touch, and so art's can't really die, as long as people keep doing something, like being creative, essentially being creative in anything, music, film, and drawing and painting. But I feel like Europe does value it a bit more, probably because they've been around longer.
They're just more cultured, man. They know how to appreciate
it. That's just how it is.
They just know how to appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, dang, You said something and I was gonna say something about it, but I totally lost my train of thought. It's all good.
I know.
Oh yes, that's what it was. Um, art will never die as long as people are still alive.
Yes. I seen a lot of people. I feel like everybody has a distinct touch, and this is due to time and space. Like nobody can replicate the era you were born in, your parent, your living situation, your the way you grew up, due to time and space. That can't be replicated, and so you already have your own distinct voice, and everybody has a distinct touch to make work. I think you had said something about selling art.
Mm-hmm.
I don't make work to sell. I make work just to make work, to make art. For me, and I think this kind of sidetracking, but it
No,
came
come on.
back to like my dad taking me to a museum where it's like you see a Rembrandt painting, a figurative artist, a very important painter,
Gotcha.
oil painter.
He's the one that did the triangle right here, right? On the eye, the Rembrandt?
Yeah, the
Gotcha.
light source.
Yes.
And so like to me, I'm like I always want to. You're always chasing I'm always chasing Rembrandt. I always have this goal in life to paint great work or to make great work up to like that standard. And I've been fortunate that I caught that at a young age, that it motivated me to, or give me a goal in life to, okay, and this is what I want to pursue in high school. I also had really good high school teachers that were like, that motivated me and pushed me. And so I at this point in my life, I'd like to do the same and motivate others, students and people to work with art and continue to make work.
And continue to pursue the art, right?
And pursue the work. Yeah, pursue
So
art.
before I let you go, I definitely you mentioned Rembrandt. So is it easy to assume that he's one of your favorite artists?
Yeah, Rembrandt. I definitely want to make a pilgrimage to Holland and see his work, him and Vermeer,
Gotcha.
and just do this. It's my bucket list, just to see this work in person, as opposed to just an art book. So, yeah.
Gotcha. You will. I actually, when he said that, I'm like, he's going to be there for about 3 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
You will go. You will go. We're going to put that out there.
I would love to.
You
yeah.
will go.
One day. Yeah, I will go.
There we go.
Soon.
See?
I will go soon.
There we go. We got to change our wordings around. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
As not to one, I will. You know.
I will go.
You know, not I should. I shall.
I shall.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds so much better, doesn't it?
Yep.
Feels so much better. What makes Rembrandt such a great painter and artist to you?
He developed a lot of, like he had his own style, his own touch, and a lot of techniques that he used are still being used and are still used as a template
Got you.
to paint.
Like the lighting source right
The
here.
light,
right?
exact, the light source and the use of color, the use of the particular paints that oil paints that he arranges to make certain colors. And so you learn that in school, but he's one of the reasons I want to. Those reasons are the reason I really enjoy him, and just his work. His work is very incredible.
Awesome. Briar Rosa, I want to thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.
Can you please tell everybody how they can find your art? Oh, wait. Sorry. Before I want to do that, I want to say this. I think as artists, we humble ourselves and want to live the whole bohemian lifestyle. This is my whole opinion, right? But I also think we need to live.
Yeah.
Right? We need to live. We need to live, to eat, to feed the art. So I think it is necessary for artists. I think life's all about value.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so we need to I think everyone deserves value and deserves to get income for what they do, You have to pay for these clothes, right?
Yeah, that's the pain for art. It's not something. Me personally, I feel like that's something I haven't put a lot of thought. Like that's a flaw in my profession. I feel like where I'm in my garage or my room, where I'm thinking about a concept or a piece, and it's a personal journey for me. But others, like, it should be more. It can be a personal journey, or it could be something to a monetary situation. And I always felt like, for me personally, if I made it a monetary situation where something like rent is due, or I have to provide for my family, like that changes. I think it would change my
Approach.
drastically.
100%. 100%.
And I don't know if So and that's not a bad thing. It's just a reality. And it's the monetary value of art is something that should be thought of too. But for me, I'm in a situation where I'm able to just think about my work throughout the day and to make it. That's not to say I don't work. I work. A non-art. I do work. I teach, but I also have other like non-art occupation that that I get.
That generates income.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not saying like I'm going to make this piece so that way I can make X amount of money. I'm just saying naturally you produce your art and people see the value in it, and then that's what I'm saying, because I know, and also I think it goes both ways, and I think it's hard to find that balance. I think a lot of people struggle with the balance of like, okay, between being still me and then also understanding to make a business out of it, whatever.
Yeah, I think it's very hard to. I think in a perfect world, you would make art or a painting, and it would sell, and you could pay your rent. But not every. It's kind of very hard to just have that. I'm sorry. It's hard to have like this perfect system of just making the work and then have an audience for it that sells. I don't know. I just lost train of thought. But it's very like it. Again, a perfect world, that would be the situation. But some people have done it, and it's very possible to do it and then enjoy it and enjoy your life and have a good, living situation.
Definitely, and where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
And no knock to anybody on however they're pursuing their art. I think as long as you're enjoying yourself and you're having your fun and your greatness, that's all that matters in the end of the day when you're pursuing your art. As long as you're enjoying it, having fun, and you're being true to yourself.
Exactly.
I think that's all that matters in the end of the day. Briar Rosa, please tell everybody how they can support your art, and find you and all that good stuff.
Please, I'm in Instagram is the easiest social media platform to find me. It's under Briar Rosa _. I also have a website, briarrosa.com. And if you'd like, I do teaching at space in the San Bernardino area called at the Garcia Center, where I'm conducting classes right now.
Awesome. Can you spell out your name just so we can make sure that everybody gets it correctly for the...
Sure. It's a BRIAR ROSA, Briar Rosa.
Gotcha. Yeah. And at Instagram, it's got the underscore at the end?
With the underscore at the end. Yeah.
Awesome. Briar Rosa, thank you so much.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Man,
Thank you.
Can't wait to see some more of your art, and check it out, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Glad to have you.
I said